Alright then, boys and girls, welcome to Tier 1 Performance Racing League, Jeddah Round 2, in this beautiful, I guess, middle of the world, country, or beautiful. Some may say it's not beautiful, some may say it's beautiful, but the track in itself, it's pretty beautiful. So we have, as I said, Tier 1, the guys that are trying to get to Premier. Some may say it's the most competitive tier, kind of like F2 type of style. It's a pretty close grid. Today we have 15 people. Not sure who we are missing, but yeah, we got some times already. We got Turtle Hopper on pole, with about a second gap to Jasper in P2, and then Mr. X. Pretty sure Mr. X is reserving up, as well as Rusty, as Pablo Brago's pole with around the 10th. Okay, so yeah, let's just find someone that's on the lap. As Bronco goes pole with a 4/10 lead, 130.1. Good lap from Bronco. I'm sure we'll see better laps, but as a banker, that's a good lap. As Buffon goes with a 130 flat on pole, 1/10 ahead of Bronco. So yeah, the times are running in at the moment. People are just setting their bankers. Yeah, apart from like some guys, I think it looks like some people are sitting in the pits, or maybe they messed up their lap. It's kind of pretty hard to get a lap on this track, as Oliver goes a lot quicker than Buffon with a 129.2 as a banker. That's more like the times we'll probably see going into the end of qualifying. We should see a 128. I'm pretty confident we are going to see that as well, as Morris goes a 129 flat, so he goes pole. So as it's a pretty high track. The track gets better and better the later in the session you go. So if you want the best times, will probably come at the end of the session, and it's quite a lot of track improvement on this track. So at the start it's pretty low grip, and therefore sectors like the first sector is going to be much easier at the end of the qualifying instead of the start. So now we will go on and sit on board with Dr. Fleek. He raced in the Premier race, and he did pretty well. I think he ended up P9. So yeah, he has the pace. Same with Oliver. I'm not sure where he ended up, but he did. I think Oliver got a P6 in qualifying, so he's definitely up there with the qualifying times. So I'm expecting pretty good times from these guys. Now let's see, Fleek into the last corner. Looks pretty tidy. Gets on the power at the exit. It's pretty easy to touch a wall in these corners, and he goes P3 with a 129.4. Let's just fix the let's see, there we go. Okay, nice. Yeah, so a good lap from Dr. Fleek. As I said earlier, this is only just the banker laps, or maybe now we're getting into maybe the second try for people. Myself didn't even get a lap. I tried 4 times, didn't even make a valid lap. So yeah, I'm not the best to say anything about qualifying, but I would say probably one of these guys is gonna do better than I would ever do in this qualifying. But still, we move. Looks like the AlphaTauri of Only Tecker has gone purple in the first sector, so let's get on board with him. Looks pretty good through the right left there. now for this kind of twisty straight. Bit of turning on your wheel. So you kind of can't relax on this track because you always have to kind of turn the wheel a bit and stay close to the walls. But he looks to deal with it pretty well. Looked pretty close to the wall in the left right at the last sector, and also in the last turn there. Goes into second gear on the apex, but I guess that's just preference as he goes pole with 128.9. So yeah, that's probably closer to the pole time we'll get today. Not sure what the pole was in Premier. I think it was at 28 flat, so 28.0. So yeah, we should probably. I'm guessing we should see maybe a 28.6, 28.5, or even lower if they do well. Yeah, so we'll just hop on with Projo, who is equal his first sector. So let's sit on board with the Alpine Projo. Not sure if I think he raced in the last race. Not sure where he ended up, as I was commentating Tier 2, but he's a pretty solid driver from last season. Did well. I think he ended up kind of on the top end of the middle of the table in Tier 1 last season. Ooh, has a bit of a hit with the wall on the entry in that corner, and that's gonna, yeah, he's gonna back out the lap. So yeah, a bit of a shame for him, but yeah. Okay, who are we gonna watch now? Let's see. I just gotta excuse my voice a bit because it's a bit kind of, I'm half sick, so the voice is gonna be a bit like low. But yeah, you guys should hopefully manage to hear what I'm saying without kind of turning up the volume too high. But yeah. Oliver hasn't validated. Morris is on a lap. Do we have any other guys that's on a lap closer? Rusty hasn't validated. Broncos on out lap. Okay, then we'll let's watch Jesper. He is coming into the last corner, braking past the 100 meter, a bit twitchy on the entry of the corner. Has to correct a bit in the braking. Now going to the line. It's gonna be pretty slow from Jesper, 130.7. So yeah, I think he's more than capable of doing a better time than that. Yeah, so I'm expecting a bit more from Jesper than this. Wirt hasn't set a time yet. I think he joined mid-session, and G Innes, not sure what happened to him. I think he retired early in the qualifying. Let's see. Morris looks to be on lap. He's a bit up on his time. Is it enough for pole? No, he goes into the pits. I think he was up on his time. Not sure what the thought process were, but you never know. Looks pretty good from Oliver. Let's see, is he up on his time? He's a bit less than a tenth behind his personal best first sector. Now going into this twisty straight for the right-left, you gotta stay pretty close to the wall both on entry and apex, and he does that really well. Takes the curb on the exit and keeps it close to the wall. Now onto this other twisty straight. Reps out the gear, very nice. Now into this corner, close. Oh, he misses the apex, and that's gonna lose him a bit of time. I think he braked a bit too late to get the optimal line for the corner, but it's still a good lap. Looked like he'd gone purple in the second sector. Didn't see the time up in the right corner, but yeah, and yeah, he's going into the pits, so I think he messed up the last corner as well. So that's probably why he aborted the lap. Let's watch Fleek. He isn't on a lap, that is good, I think. The fun has invalidated. Projo was starting a lap. Let's see, is there anyone else? Oh, Turtle Hopper, 1 second improvement. That will put him P6 at the moment. If he goes faster, ooh, goes P3. Great lap from Turtle Hopper. Only a 10th and a half away from pole, so it's pretty close in the closing stages. I think everyone should have time to go in and put on another set of softs and then get the last attempt. So as you probably all know, there is no need to use the medium, and you have no option to use the medium either in qualifying, because you have free tire choice on the start. And also we're not running formation lap on the start because of the bugs that it may cause with tire temps. So yeah, it will be a direct start from the grid afterwards, and Turtle Hopper is cutting the track a bit. Not sure if that's allowed, but well, I think that's up to the stewards. Not my decision or anything. Projo has invalidated. Let's watch. Aussie Dude has also invalidated. Mr. Hex looks a bit understeery in the 2 first corners there. Maybe he just messed up the turn in a bit going into the first sector. This is probably the trickiest part of the track. Keeps you in 6th, close to the wall. Gotta take all the curb, easing off onto the brake, and then to 5th and then to 6th again. And let's see what the sector time says. 5/10 up on his time, but I think he needs a lot more than that to be in the at least the middle of the pack. He has a 31.7, so he probably needs around 1.5 seconds to be somewhere in the middle to maybe catch Rusty, as Rusty has retired, I think. So yeah, we have Mr. Hex probably being the first to cross the line, and he messes up, and that's a spin. Yeah, so that curb has been elevated from last year, and therefore if you take it the wrong way, it may cause you to have a moment and lose the car. So that's a shame for Mr. X. I think he will have time to go for another attempt. Looks like it. He has the ERS as well, so he'll go for another one. Let's see. We have a fun. He's on the outlap. Proju is not on an outlap, but I think it's an outlap. Yeah, looks to be a second hot lap try. A bit too low on the ERS. Who else is coming? We got a Dr. Fleek. He's on an outlap. Is it Morris? Morris going into the pits. Does he have damage? Turtle Hopper. We have a Mercedes. I think that's Pablo Bra. No. Yes, never mind. Pablo Bra going P11 with a... No, P9 with a 130.0. Do we have any other drivers doing... Oh, Oliver is a 0.3 up on his time. 3/10 up on his time. That will put him pole if he can keep it through the last corner. Braking. Oh, looks pretty decent from my point of view. Let's see, keeps it close to the line, don't invalidate here, and he goes pole with a few hundreds. What a lap by Oliver. And now only Tecker. Is he going to respond? Going through the first sector, and he invalidates. He invalidates. And that means that Oliver will take pole unless Turtle Hopper or any other driver can do something about it. For example, J.K. Bass, the Aston Martin driver, my man on the Aston Martin team. Let's see how the Norwegian can do, also from my country. I believe, in JK Bass. JK Bass. No, GK Bass, sorry. My bad. Yeah, looks pretty good from through that corner. What's his sector time gonna be? We will... Never mind, he's going through the last sector. Let's see, on board, into the last corner. Goes second gear in that corner. Maybe he lost a bit of rotation. Going for pole. Stays P5. And Turtle Upper is down on his time, and that's an invalidation. That's a bit of a rip. Let's see, Bronco goes P7 with a 129.6. Great lap from Bronco at the end of the qualifying there, using the best track for his advantage. Great lap, and I think that's everyone done. Turtle Upper has invalidated. Wouldn't have been a great time. Let's see, Oliver has also invalidated. He's just doing a victory lap. So yeah, Oliver on pole. Then only Tecker with just a few hundreds away. That's a great qualifying session. A top 5 within 1.5 tenths, maybe almost 2 tenths. So that's amazing. Amazing drive from all of them. Looks like Wirt got the lap in P11, so that's better than last. So that's good for him. He probably won't come in the way of Oliver as his teammate. Let's see. There, we are done for qualifying session, and we are heading into the race. So I'll give you a bit of a grid rundown as we go. And if you want, guys, you can put some predictions in the comments. Doesn't have to be top 3 prediction, just any prediction happening in the race, and I'll have a look at them before the race starts. Okay, so we got Oliver P1, Only Tecker P2, Morris P3, Turtle Upper P4, Jakey Bass P5, Dr. Fleek P6, Bronco P7, Buffon P8, Projul P9, Pablo Brat P10, Wirt P11, Rusty P12, Jesper P13, Osidut P14, and Mr. Hex P15. GNS didn't set a lap, and therefore goes P16. All right. Okay, there we go. We got some excited people up in the DHL stand cheering on. I don't know. I think maybe Aston Martin, as they're all dressed in green, doing the same motions over and over. Maybe that's what they use their time on, Codemasters, on using the game. Just having people cheer in the stand above the pit lane. Nice. That's just EA things. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. we're just waiting for the guys to ready up on the grid, and then we'll have no formation lap, as I said earlier. We'll just go straight onto the race. Because of the bugs the formation lap may cause with tire temps. So when the drivers are ready, we'll have a start with the cold tires. Some may opt for the hards, some may go for the mediums, and some may go for the softs. But in the end, all the tires will be cold, and therefore we'll probably have some carnage into turn 1. And some carnage at the start as well. We'll have people struggling for traction, and that's may cause a lot of accidents and people locking up into turn 1. So I think we are ready to start now. That's a pretty decent.
The formation lap gets underway, and every
formation
driver
lap?
will be looking to settle in for the race
What?
ahead, making sure that their car
Well
is
done.
ready for the battle once the lights go out.
I think that may be a mistake from the admin. Looks like he's had a bit of a tough day. Let's watch the formation lap with David Croft.
Points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
Oh damn, well, okay. Well, we're done already? What? I'm so confused. I'm really confused. Well, we're ready. And it's lights out and away we go. Looks like a good start from Oliver. Never mind, Oliver has a bit of a snap, and looks like Morris going on the inside of Only Taker, and he keeps the place. Now Oliver on the side by side with Morris going into the twisty section, but I think he backs out. Yeah, he does. We got some movement in the back. Looks like Dr. Fleek has done Bronco, as well as Wirt has got a place, and I think that's Rusty having a bit of a spin. Let's see. Yeah, I think, but he's still back in the race. And there we have a Ferrari of Morris going on the inside of Only Taker in their long left-hander. Looks like to be a done move for... No, Only Taker keeps it on the inside. Is he gonna take it on the inside in this corner as well? No, he backs out. And he has to go a bit off track to keep the... which lets Oliver go on the inside, and he uses ERS to get past Only Taker on the outside of the straight. Let's see. Can we have telemetry? Thank you. There we go. So Morris going up 2 positions, Oliver getting back on Only Taker, and then we have Turtlehopper and Jakey Bass. I think Jakey Bass is on the hard tire. Let's see the tires. Yeah, Jakey Bass is on the hard tires and still keeping position. So that's very nice from Jakey Bass. The hard tire is a harder tire to warm up, and therefore we'll have a bit less pace on the straights, as we have a bit of a bug. Looks like a 16 point something fastest lap. That's looking a bit buggy, but we'll move. As it also says, only Taker is 1.5 minutes ahead of Oliver, and the Turtlehopper is 1.34 minutes behind. Yeah, but either way, Aussie Dude does a move on Wirt. Wirt who had a decent start, getting up some positions. Let's see what he did. Position change. Yeah, so Wirt had a 1 position gain, and then Aussie Dude now with a 4 position gain. So yeah, that's pretty... Oh, looks like Oliver is making a move on Morris, and yeah, he does. He uses the ERS. Oh, when Morris goes off the track, Turtlehopper gets a penalty. I think we'll see a lot of those in the race today. Penalties aren't that uncommon in the tracks like these, in tracks like Jeddah. So we'll have a look now that Morris goes after Oliver on the straight. DRS enabled this lap. Morris will try and make a move. No, he stays behind. And they're both on 50% DRS. As we're seeing a bit of a gap form between the Aston Martin and the top 4 runners. I think we have that's because of the hards not being as fast as the other tires, and we have a Red Bull going a bit wide. I think that was a bit fun. So yeah, pretty good start from Bass, but the hard tires are slower, so he will be facing attack from Buffon and the guys behind. Now let's see, is there any fighting going on? Looks like Morris has lost a bit of touch with Oliver. I mean, he's still inside DRS, but Oliver is probably pushing a bit to get him outside, and he almost does. I think he was looking at a second there for a bit of time. But now, oh, and Morris has a bit of an incident with the wall, and that lets only Tecker go on the outside of Morris and into the last corner. He stays ahead. Morris may have a bit of damage. We're not sure, as Buffon has, I think Buffon has had a spin and someone got the Buffon is disqueued. He's disqualified. Jeez, I'm not sure what the disqualification was for, but here we're watching the front guys, only Tecker and Turtlehopper going side by side into that twisty section, and I think Turtlehopper got ahead. Yeah, he did. Pretty good move from Turtlehopper. Let's watch. I think Mr. Hex. Oh, Mr. Hex has a bit of a hit with the wall. I'm not sure. Oh, and that's in the wall. No, he's pretty lucky to not lose the tire in that situation. That is pretty bad. That is pretty mad. Sorry. Now Bass is closing a bit in on the Tecker, but I think he had a bit of a snap or something to lose it again. So yeah, people are kind of settling into their own race. So let's see what happens. We also can have a bit of a look at the penalties. So it looks like Turtlehopper and Morris going into the last turn, and Turtlehopper gets the move done on Morris. A Ferrari that may have damage, as Oliver is kind of running away with the lead. Almost is above 2 seconds, as we have a bit of a fight behind. Projul going down the inside of GK Bass, and as Morris goes around the outside. Ooh, that's a good move from Morris. These guys are fighting, and I'm not sure if that's the greatest idea of fighting all the time, because as Morris goes a bit wide, because you will lose a lot of time to the leader. Morris may think he has more pace, but continue fighting with Turtlehopper will not solve getting closer to Oliver, as they're now outside the 3-second penalty that Oliver has got himself. Now Projul, that has broken a bit away from Bass, is probably looking to close the gap on the top 4 or the top 3 group, as he is on a better tire than Jake Bass, but I think he's struggling a bit. We saw on the Premier race, or after my own experience, that the hard tires does kind of equal the pace of the mediums after a bit of a while, as we have Turtlehopper getting overtaken by Morris, and Only Tacker lurking behind both of them as they go side by side in the straight. Turtlehopper, where's he going? Is he going to be 3 wide into turn 1? I think Only Tacker backs out as Turtlehopper's trying to go down the inside. And I think he does not make the move as he goes around the outside. And that's off the track for the Haas. And Morris is running away with the DRS, and as Projo is now catching the guys up front, he is, as Dude gets a 3-second penalty, he is almost within DRS range, and he's dragging the whole DRS train from 10th to 5th up to the top 2 or 3rd and 4th of Turtlehopper, and Only Tacker that's now made contact again with Morris. While this all is happening though, Oliver 3.5 seconds ahead. So yeah, he's driving pretty solidly, doing what he has to do, just driving carefully and driving within the track limits. It would be a shame for him to get another 3 seconds, as safety car is probably going to happen, even though the safety car is unreduced, as we have the McLaren of Dr. Fleek making a move on the Alpine, and therefore losing them a bit of time again. I'm not sure that was the smartest move for Dr. Fleek. I think they should just continue trying to close the gap on the guys ahead, as that's exactly what Dr. Fleek is doing now. So if they can just keep the train, not try and overtake each other all the time, then we'll probably catch up to the 2nd to 4th. So Morris, Turtlehopper and Only Tacker. The guys chasing the lead, not sure what it's called. Chasing group, I guess. So yeah. I'm thinking of a kind of a Tour de France reference, but yeah, never mind. And I think Dude has made a move on Bronco. Never mind, they're going side by side into that corner, and looks like Dude keeps ahead of Bronco. Now, Only Tacker is close on the guys ahead, and while they're all having... Oh, we have a yellow flag. That is a Mr. Hex, I think, in the wall. And he has had a bit of a spin. I think he has lost a left end plate. Yeah, looks to be a left end plate gone from the Aston Martin. As we have Morris and Only Tacker... No, Morris and Turtlehopper going side by side. Morris getting pushed a bit wide by Turtlehopper, but it's still all fair and clean. Turtlehopper keeping the position as they go really close into this twisty. Oh, Morris gets a bit of a snap, and then I think he hit the wall. Not sure if he got any damage, as Turtlehopper got another second, so it's now up to 6 seconds, and Morris also gets the 3-second penalty. Let's see. Let's go Aston Martin from Chaos Druid, and let's go McLaren from Carlos Heinz, the ketchup manufacturer from Spain. Love to see it. McLaren is doing pretty well with Dr. Fleek, doing well in the McLaren. Really closing up now. I think he has a DRS. Yeah, he does have DRS, and we have another yellow flag, and that's Mr. Hex DNFing in the pits. He is tier 2 reserve, so that's fine. No worries. And GK Bass closing also in on the McLaren of Dr. Fleek and Morris, and Only Tacker almost making contact with Turtlehopper in the Haas. So yeah, I think it's kind of too soon to say, but if Oliver can keep it clean, he should have this race in the bag. It is his race to lose. He has a bit of maybe a laggy connection, looks like, but doesn't really matter. He is a comfortable 6 seconds ahead with a 3-second penalty, and the 3 guys behind him also has penalties. The closest without penalty is Dr. Freak, as I think Morris went a bit wide. Weird TV getting a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He's up to P8, so that's a good drive from Wirtz. And GK Bass has made contact with the guys up front, so the Aston Martin is now in contact with the McLaren. That would makes me and all the other Aston Martin drivers happy, as I think Dr. Fleek is trying to make a move on the Ferrari of Morris. I think Morris may have some damage. Let's see. Probably not. He may have a minor damage, but not sure. I think Projules has had a moment. He is ghosted. Is that a bot? I think Projules has had a bit of a connection issue. And as we see Morris going into the pits, and we have the Jakey Bass against the McLaren. Let's see, Bass, is he gonna go inside? He stays behind. Weird decision. But he stays behind. Maybe he has something for us coming later in the race, just trying to keep the car in one piece, and then when he gets on the mediums, when everyone else is on the hards, he will bounce back and do some amazing moves in that emerald car. We're TV 3 seconds behind, trying to catch up to the guys up front, but it kind of looks a bit of an impossible task at the moment. We may see later in the race though, he may get a bit of play a bit of catch up, as Jesper, the Swedish driver, I think he got overtaken. No, he overtook the disconnected Projules. So yeah, pretty good from both. Let's see. We have someone rooting for Ferrari best. Not sure who that is. I think it was called BMX, but we got some Ferrari fans as well. Not doing as great as McLaren and Aston Martin, but they got some solid drivers. Or I mean, Morris is. Never mind, Morris has pitted, so he will be at the front when all the other guys pit. But yeah, as we see, I think JK Bass, I'm just gonna call him Bass from now. I think Bass has overtaken the McLaren of. Oh, and Oliver has had a moment. Oliver's had a moment. As I said, it's his race to lose, and he's had a moment. He is, as we now have Bass on the back of Oliver. Oliver, do you have any damage? Not sure. I think he maybe just had a spin, but kind of hard to see as we have Dr. Fleek trying all over the back of Bass to make a move on the Aston Martin. So yeah, Oliver has kind of had a bit of a whoopsie. I'm not sure where it happened. I think it happened in the second one. But he's now down to 3rd place, which kind of spices the race up a bit again. So he should be right in the mix with all the other guys. Both Turtle Hopper and Only Tacker has 6 seconds of penalties. I think we'll see the medium runners going into pits now. Let's see. Looks like Dr. Fleek stays out. Bass obviously stays out because of the hard tires. Let's watch the tires. Yeah, so Dr. Fleek is on mediums. Worth also opting to stay out. He's gained a bit of time on Dr. Fleek and Bass, as Bass is pulling a bit of way from the McLaren. and only Tecker gets a 3-second penalty again, so it's up to 9 seconds now for corner cutting on the new hard tires. Morris is looks like he has been struggling a bit on the hard tires at the start, but I think he will catch up now that his tires are hot and there's not. But yeah, let's watch Bass now without outside of the 1 second gap of the McLaren. The McLaren and the Wirt struggling a bit on the mediums. I think Wirt has a bit more pace than Dr. Fleek at the moment, as he's catching a bit, and Dr. Fleek is really struggling with the car on the old medium tires. Yeah, I think those guys will go into the pits as well. Bass will probably stay out for another 1 or 2 laps. I think if you want to get the best out of the mediums, you pit on lap 13 or maybe 14. I think that's the best strategy. But yeah, he looks pretty comfortable in the car. Has the pace. I think he will be at the top fighting for the win at the end of the race if everything goes well. Now that Oliver has had a bit of a crash. Let's see Oliver going down the inside of only Tecker. Nice move from Oliver, now trying to catch Turtle Hopper. I think Oliver is the one with the most pace out of all of these 4. And Dr. Fleek has actually jumped Morris in the fits, but I think Morris has much better tires as they kind of hit a bit in the fast section, and Morris again hits him. It's really frustrating to sit behind someone with cold tires because you kind of have so much more grip than them, and Morris trying to go down the outside. Dr. Fleek is defending really well, and I think maybe Dr. Fleek is doing so that Morris may not have a chance at winning this race, as he's now falling so far behind because of the cold tires of Dr. Fleek. And the tires is probably warm enough now to fight Morris, but Morris has DRS, and I think he will have the move done in that corner, as he does. Oliver has caught a bit up to Turtle Hopper, as I predicted before. I think he has the most pace. I think we'll see Bass into the pits, maybe. Nope, Bass still set for the 14th lap. So I think that he will go into the pits this lap. He is 16 seconds behind on this lap, but I think he will kind of gain. He'll gain a lot of time as Dr. Fleek doesn't move on Morris, who's also included Wirt TV in the fight. Wirt was in Premier last season, has now been demoted and is striving to get his place back in the Premier tier. He is now caught up to the 2 guys, Ferrari and the McLaren, as he's now just keeping touch with the guys and see if they can catch up to the top 4 when Bass pits. And I think Bass will now, let's see if Bass goes into the pits. I think now is the best time to go into the pits. Let's see. He's not going into the pits. That is, oh damn, not sure that is the right move to stay out another lap. I think the mediums are doing well enough to stay fresh for 11 laps. I think you lose a bit of time staying out on the 15th lap on the hards. But yeah, and Oliver also caught up to Turtle Hopper. He's had some amazing pace on those hards, and he is driving up on the gearbox of Turtle Hopper at the moment, and I think he will looking to get a move done on this lap or maybe on the home straight going into the next lap. Let's see, I think Dr. Fleek has also caught up a bit to the boys ahead. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bass should end up, when he's getting out of the pits, ahead of Dude and maybe behind Wirt. He may end up behind Dude. He will hope he doesn't end up behind Dude, because that's gonna be an unnecessary hurdle for him. Hopefully he stays ahead. It has a bit of clean air on the medium when he warms them up, because they're gonna warm up a lot faster than the hard tires. The hard tires are much harder to warm up on this game. Oliver, let's see Oliver now. Yeah, the Bass is in the pits. Oliver tries to get a good exit. I think he will have a better exit out of this corner now with DRS on third upper. Is the Haas gonna go defensive? He stays in the middle of the track. Nope. Oliver goes down the inside, and that's a done move before they're even entering the apex. Great move by Oliver. Let's see, Jakey Bass. Oh, he gets into P4. Damn, I was way off on the time pitting takes. That is a lot better for Bass, and he should now have a pretty good chance at getting into the mix. He needs to gain 5 seconds to Oliver to have a chance at a win here. I think he will do his best, and hopefully his best is enough. A bit of a concern is that he hasn't got any DRS. Hopefully he'll catch up to only Tecker fast, so that he can. I think we have Morris in the wall. Doesn't look to have too much damage, so I think he'll be fine. A bit of a shame for the Ferrari driver. Looked like he had a lot of pace, and then he ends up with a 2 spins, one in the wall, which had massive damage. So yeah, bit of a bummer for the Ferrari driver and for the Ferrari team. Let's watch Wirt going into the pits again. I think Wirt may have damage. Why would he go into the pits if he hasn't got any damage? Yeah, I think Wirt has some damage. Let's see if the team... Yeah, he has damage. The front wing is out for use. And I think Turtlehopper is keeping... Oh, Oliver again! He has had another moment, and Oliver is really struggling to keep the consistency. He has the pace, but the consistency is just not there. And now Bass will be right on his gearbox on the better tire. Bass will probably try to get by as fast as possible, as the tires of Oliver will be pretty hot. Now Bass, what will you do in this situation? And he gets past the obstacle of Projo, and now on the outside he gets the DRS. He should be able to get the move done, and he does get the move done. Bass now up to the podium places, only 5 seconds away from Turtlehopper, who now doesn't have the DRS, and that doesn't only take a reader, so he should be able to at least catch up to Undertaker if he has the pace. That will be the test, and Oliver just has to hang on to the medium runner of Bass. Let's now see if Bass can put in some crazy laps and catch up, as Oliver has another... Oh, he goes into the pits. Oliver has damage, I think. And that will promote Dr. Fleek up into P4. That is really a shame for Oliver. He has to take off the front wing and put on a new one. That is such a shame. He has to put on the soft tires. Probably will get the fastest lap, but still, that is not good news for the Norwegian Williams driver, hoping to get the Williams team to lead the Williams team to some good points, as the Williams team looks pretty stacked this year. Has some pretty good drivers all around the tiers. A lot of admins as well. So yeah, it's definitely a team to watch out for in the combined World Championship standings. But yeah. Okay, Bass is repping my team, Aston Martin, the green car, which I managed to not choose in the race, but I think, not sure if I'll get the points. I think I should get the points for the Aston Martin team. Not sure though, but hopefully I do. Don't want to let the Aston team down. Bass, only 1.5 seconds. He's doing pretty good. He is now only 3.6 seconds behind. So he should be able to at least get a P2 here if he does. Oh, I almost forgot. Bass doesn't have any penalties. Oh my god. So he's not P1. Turtlehopper has 6 seconds, Only Tacker has 9 seconds, which means Bass will be P1, and then Dr. Fleek will be P2, and then Aussie Dude will... No, never mind. We'll have Bass P1, then Turtlehopper P2, and then we'll have... yeah, and then we'll have Dr. Fleek, and then Only Tacker. So... That's a pretty cool. That's why you keep away from the penalties, as we have a Mercedes having a bit of a spin. Is that Pablo Bra? I think that was Pablo. He had a bit of a spin, and the guys are now, and he's now. I think he had any damage, but he's now driving again with no concerns. Janus looking to make a move on Morris. Morris, who had a bit of pretty much not a lot of fortune in this race, and is now getting under attack by the other McLaren driver, as Jakey Bass, I mean, on Only Tacker trying to make a move in the fast sweeping sector 1. Bass is doing very good on these medium tires to close the gap, and I think they have lost a lot of time. I think they had some may have some collisions, and that's not great news for Bass. If they keep on fighting, he may lose out on P1. So hopefully they do not keep on fighting the way they are. Yeah, that's a pretty good camera angle. I think he will have the move done on the AlphaTauri, and he is passed into the last turn. That may have been a smart move from Only Tacker to maybe get back at Bass on the straight, but I think Bass is far enough ahead to not get overtaken again, and it looks like, yeah, he is passed. Now Bass will see if he can catch Turtlehopper. He doesn't need to catch Turtlehopper, but every driver wants to win on track and not just on penalties. If you can overtake the winner, you will try and overtake the winner. It's kind of a better feeling to win, be the fastest, and also be the winner, not just be the winner on penalties. But still, a win is a win. Let's see, another yellow flag in sector 1. Who is that? I think. Thing is, I keep on seeing yellow flags, but I'm not sure what they're for, because I can't see any incidents happening. But yeah, we'll watch the McLaren. Well, never mind, we'll watch Only attacker against Bass. Only attacker now trying to get past again. Bass. Only attacker doesn't really matter if he gets past or not. Maybe. I mean, it's good racing either way. We want to see some fighting. So, only attacker on the worst tire. Still, as Oliver gets 12 seconds of penalties. And only attacker, is he going to try and make a move? No, he stays behind. Into turn 1 and 2, which is the prime overtaking opportunity in this track. Also into the last turn, I think it's turn 27 or something. There's a lot of corners, a lot of unnecessary corners on this track, such as the straights, which has I'm not sure if we can call it straights because they have a lot of turns, but still, yeah, the straights have probably 15 corners in total. So yeah, I wouldn't call this a multi-corner. It shouldn't be more than 10 actual corners where we have to brake, but still, we move. Can't do anything about the track, how the track was made. It's a good racing track though. I mean, it makes a lot of action, produces a lot of action, and for people watching, let's see, Aussie dude on Bronco. Yeah, Bronco Tier 1 admin driving for Alfa Romeo number, I think it's number 62. He's now under pressure from the Red Bull driver. Number 2, he's going, I think he's going inside. Who's braking the latest? That looks like it's Aussie dude as he makes the move, and therefore, yeah, and therefore goes up to P5. Oh. Now, Jakey Bass has a bit of an issue. He needs to keep within the 6 seconds. It's still 1 second, but he's still lost a lot of time on the lead, and he's still losing a lot of time to the leader. So Bass needs to keep it together and not fight as much with the only taker. Only taker may screw the win opportunity for Bass here. I think we have a Ferrari spinning, and also we have a Mercedes DNF in the last, I think, yeah, I think that's Pablo Bra. I think he has DNF'd in the first sector, probably lost the rear a bit, and then the car went away from him. Jakey Bass now just cruising, trying to not get overtaking, as Oliver has had a bit of a crash. I think he's just some way just ended up in that wall. That looked a bit weird, but still, he is out of this race, and he has had a lot of misfortune in this race, spins and all of that stuff. So yeah, he had the pace today, but not the consistency, and not the non-spinning for the Williams driver, sadly. His teammate with 12 seconds of penalties in the P8, so not a great day for Williams, but a P8 still decent, but you have to consider penalties, then it's probably going to be a P10. So yeah, Bass looks to be keeping his distance to Throttle pretty well, and Only Taker is also not getting that close to Bass on the straights. I mean, they're close, but they're maybe they are close enough to maybe make a move on the last lap and maybe spoil Bass's hopes for a win in this race. And I think Turtle Uppers actually got DRS from No, he hasn't. Looks like he had got the RS from disconnected Alpine. As Bass is now gaining a lot of time on Turtle and should have this win in the bag if he can keep the lap clean. As only Tecker, I think, will get P4 if Dr. Fleek can keep it within the 9 seconds. Then Dr. Fleek will be P3. Turtle has P2 in the bag. A little moment from Bass here, and he may get the P1, the Haas driver, but I think Bass is driven consistently enough to not make a silly mistake on the last lap. I think he's slowing a bit down just to make sure he doesn't spin out and push the car that much. I think he's just cruising on the last lap. Hopefully the car of Only Tecker doesn't do any silly moves into these corners, as he's really close going in, as he gets another 3-second penalty, and that will probably seal the deal for Dr. Fleek on his P3 this evening. And we're looking at the winner on track. Turtle, he had a great race fighting with Oliver, but he has too much penalties, and therefore Bass will take the win. He weaves on the straight and therefore wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix ahead of Turtle, and then Dr. Fleek will probably come home to take third. He does, and that's quite a podium for you, as we see Bronco trying to get Osidu to the line. And yeah, so great try from Bass. He took the other strategy. He started on the hards, kept his pace, kept it calm, kept it composed, and went on the mediums and just showed us his raw pace on the medium tire. Gained 3 seconds to Only Tecker, made the move stick, and then kept within the penalties of the other Haas Turtle, which then makes him the winner of today's Tier 1 race. That's a great race from the Aston Martin driver. Yeah, Bass is a demon, as Berg W says. He is the winner today, and he had an amazing drive and does what I can't do. There he goes, Mr. Bass takes P1, pop the champagne. Aston Martin, best team in Tier 1. Don't ask me any questions, don't worry about it, we're gonna win everything. Bass for the win, no issues, no problems, just vibes. As they pop the champagne, Turtle and Dr. Fleek. Let's see the grid rundown. So we got we got Bass P1, Turtle P2, Dr. Fleek P3, Only Tecker P4, Osidu P5, Bronco P6, GNS P7, Morris P8, Worth P9, Jesper P10, Rusty P11, Proyul P12, Oliver P13, Pablo Bra P14, Mr. X P15, Buffon P16, Oliver, Pablo Bra, Mr. X and Buffon all sadly DNF'd. So I'll just go through the race director, I think, just for just to be nice, so that if people forget, then you have this stream to look. Well, I didn't have time, so let's see the comments. Ultra, damn. Now I'm getting, oh nice. Okay, well, William suck, and well, I can say McLaren suck, and then Williams, you're decent, because please don't kick me from the league. Would be nice. Yeah, I think it's the common Tamper W. Don't worry about it. I'm just speaking facts. Don't worry about it. So yeah, Bass, greatest driver in Tier 1 history. Apart from me though, because I'm the best. But apart from that, yes. Don't you worry about it. We're gonna win everything. Well, I'll see you guys. Be sure to check into the Tier 2 race, where we have just the Tier 1 admin of Adri commentating. So be sure to check out there, and we'll probably see some more Aston Martin Masterclass and some more McLaren and Williams Haas class 2021 trash class. But yeah, be sure to tune into that race that starts in about 15 minutes. So yeah, I'll see you guys next weekend.